Hello, welcome to Mystic Moons. It's cold, as usual. It's February, the year of the horse. Strange things are galloping along in cosmic energy. The world is absolutely crazy. So, today, we're going to talk about something that's in the news. And it's a strange case, a case of a missing person. Now, a lot of times people become incognito, missing intentionally. However, it's always not the case in the United States. In the United States, we have maybe like 60,000 people, mostly children, who are missing each month. Each week, actually. No, each month. 60,000. Almost 500,000 people, children mainly, as I said, missing. And you usually don't hear of anything beyond someone you know, or a town, or a section or neighborhood that you live in. That's why this case of Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, is so compelling because most of us, including myself, have never really paid attention to her or even heard of her. Paid attention. I'll say paid attention. And all of a sudden, she's in our face, her family life, and it makes everyone think about what their family life is. So, and we all know of different dynamics. Some of us are lucky to have very tight, caring family members. Others are, we make do with what we have. And some of us do not have any family ties. It's all to each his own. So when someone else's family life, such as Savannah's, comes into our range, our sound, our sight, our feelings, I learned to think how horrible it must be to be 84 years old and abruptly, in the middle of the night, carried away on some adventure or some situation that you have no control over. It gives everybody the creeps. So that in itself was all these feelings of like, what is this? What's happening? And then when you pay attention, like the first thing is, oh my God, that's horrible. That's really horrible. It is horrible. It is horrible. No, we're not going to forget that. But there's certain factors that have gone into this case that seem strange, weird, very weird. In fact, why would a family of millionaires be so in your face, so strangely handled case? The sheriff of the area seems like he bungled a few facts. There are no clues. How can someone simply vanish except for traces of blood, an open door? Now, we all know one thing about garage doors. Garage doors are notorious, absolutely notorious for having like 6 main, buttons that you push to open it up. And everybody that's had an automatic garage door, including myself, they're not like one of a kind. It's not like a passcode to your banking or checking account. It's not like that. It's not like that at all. So right away, and you would think somebody who has quite a lot of funds would have a unique code that wouldn't be so easy to be cracked. But would know all these things. So let's explore this situation. Let's call upon our psychic, cosmic abilities and try to see this strange case. And let's also keep in mind families. Now, her family members have put themselves on a public forum, Instagram. And we've had even the President of the United States, make comments about this case. And for a family that it has lots of money to come and go, the ransom date came, gone, and went. So we're wondering why all this. Now, if you want your money, you get your money, right? You get your money. And who wants to have some 84, almost 100-year-old woman that you have to feed, clothe, and try to keep intact to get your money? Right, that's called kidnapping. But then again, wait a minute, before we get even into the length of time on that aspect of her age and an infirmary, thank you, that it's there's aspects that we have to think about as psychic warriors, as psychic investigators. So thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you for bringing your energy, your feelings of, wow, is this real? Is this incompetence? Is this something more? It has this kind of Hitchcock element to it. Now we know that we do know MKULTRA programs, right? In the 70s, I think it started, something like that, of which people have different personas and they play head games to get certain behavior out of you. And we all know about Epstein, the corrupt financier, the corrupt procurer of sexual delights or adventures to people who did not quite know how to get these kind of picadillos on their own. We all know about genetics, his experimenting. I mean, this guy is we all know this man is multifaceted. And we all read the papers, right? And then the fact that we know about Clinton, the Clinton aspect, the Clintons. I mean, many people have many different theories about who and what they are and how they got their dough, their cash. So, and anyone to be involved with these people. Now, in terms of Savannah, we know that she was 1917 or 1917, right? Maybe. In terms of 2019, she was the first to come on the airwaves with Epstein's gals, Epstein's victims, Epstein. She was one from a woman's point of view, what it felt like to be abused, raped, sodomized, victimized, used, discarded, and to open the world of the sully filthiness of sexual politics, sexual adventure, children, pizzas, hot dogs, things like that. Opened it up. And then with the current Epstein in your face point of attention, which the case will never be solved, except on the black web, the dark web, except in little tiny hee luncheons and dinner parties of the victims. Right now we have several scapegoats. Prince Andrew. Of all the people want to marry, everybody wants to be Cinderella and the prince. So, I mean, the fact that a prince can be involved with such tawdry type of affairs, and Savannah, brought this to light. Right? She helped. Now, the fact that was X amount of years ago, 7 or 8 years ago, 2019, 7 years ago, could be long forgotten, all with our Sesame Street, Bert and Ernie mentality and concentration, right? That's what we've been trained to think. Think about it for 2 seconds and then forget it, because we're constantly bombarded with so many things, COVID, rising prices, no jobs, blah, blah, blah. Now, here we're not here to like fetch about the way of our society at large to us. We're talking about one family who is representing all of us. All of us. Our emotions are being turned to pay attention to it. So that's what we're going to do. And anyone who would like to lend their energy, give it. Give it freely. You're welcome. Comments are welcomed, and as well as your frequencies are welcomed. Let's take this seriously. Let's try to find out. First of all, why is this case so weird? Now, first of all, they have a lot of personal wealth. And for those, and we do know that we're in a society that if you have money, you have attention. And the more money you have, the more attention you get. We're true. Now, okay. Now, why is this so weird? Okay, we already said the Clinton Foundation. Oh, her husband, Savannah's husband, was a scrubber for the Clinton press releases to clean up everything. So already, now we do know whenever you know anybody and you work for somebody, you get, if it doesn't take too long to see the way that they move, the way that they swag, their thing. You understand how they go. And of course, you can get paid well for jobs, and you can get paid not so well for other jobs. But the point is, you know whom you are working for, right? So we obviously we have the Clinton aspect in there, and we've all have seen Epstein's picture of Bill Clinton with the blue dress, the cross legs, and the cheeky looking face. Okay, we all seen that, or it's easy to be seen in Epstein's Manhattan mansion. Okay, now we have heard that we do know that Savannah is a millionaire, and she makes about $8 million from her job, which comes out to roughly $160,000 a week USD. And based on, it's your mother, right? It's your mother. So you would want, and she's close to her mother. And you could even see the dynamics. She has a sister, Annie, and her brother. Right? Now, Savannah is a very dynamic woman. And we know that we know when you have more than one child, you have a favorite child. You don't all love the same. And we also know that people can become jealous. Family members can be jealous of other family members because they're getting the primary attention. And who's the more successful, who is the less successful, things like that. These are all part of the mix. And you also know that when you're a state anchor, you're there to represent the state, the government, the Leviathan, for the lack of the Leviathan. We all know the power structure. Okay, so we got that in there. So you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be your enemies and a lot of people that are going to be your pals for obtuse, rather cloaked reasons. Cloaked. They're not going to be upfront with you because you have the power to even to say certain things, to represent certain things. Okay, so your parents and all your family. Okay, now we got that. The family we're talking about. And that's what makes this case so peculiar. Why? Okay, we're in a society that worships money. Even the fact that ransom, what was it, 6 mil in Bitcoins. Now we do know the difference between USD. USD is traceable. Bitcoins, not so. And of course, we're in a surveillance society. A surveillance society, this scope is there to remind you that we're always being watched. And according to our life, we kind of live it as different puzzle pieces, right? Different puzzle pieces. However, where we're going to AI, software, stuff like that, were being systematically recorded with scans, digital IDs, according to predictability, pre-crime. All these things you watched on anime shows is fast, of course, because we're into a technocracy. I'm pronouncing it right. That the tech pros and the people who work in tech are very much into anime. Lots of them. I mean, everybody knows about anime. Not everybody, but a lot of tech people, or you want to call them nerds, whatever you want to call them, know about anime and manga. And these especially early anime, all these things that are happening are the subjects of what was made 20 years ago or so from papers. It's all there. It's all there. Now, the fact of surveillance, watching. Now, why was this rich woman was kidnapped without any visual tapes? There's no tapes. There's no videotapes. There's not even look on your phone and press the button, and there's no tapes. And why was there no tapes? They're saying because it was looping, but it's also because the bill wasn't paid. Now, these are very sick. Now, obviously, somebody who pulled this off had access to a few tech skills, right? They knew a few buttons to push and a few things to you see in these movies, we see with all the annihilations and spy movies we see in the United States on cable. We know all these things are possible. All these things. There's no video. I mean, there's no video, which is peculiar. Now, that in itself is strange, especially dealing with multimillionaire people. Why is there no video? And then the fact that it was easy to have access through the 6 codes that are available for the automatic driveway, garage doors, right? And the fact that the sheriff is kind of preoccupied, and they're looking at septic tanks, they're not even saying about the blood. And then we have this strange type of, now we all know MKULTRA, the whole brainwashing thing, just to get people who are in, the whole brainwashing thing. And are we being, I'm not saying that Nancy, the mother, Savannah's mother is not missing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that this case is being used as the same thing in the case of Venezuela when they're bombing the fishing boats and saying, "Oh, that's you're a drug addict, you're a drug dealer, you're a drug mule," without even giving the people on these little rickety boats a chance to even proclaim their innocence, or where's the rule of law? There is no rule of law. I'm doing it because I can do it. That's the kind of attitude we have right now. I'm doing it because I can. Now, let's clear the air a little bit. All right? Now, give me your energy. Give me some help here. Trying to set this theme or the scene of what this strangeness is all about. You have rich people, the mother disappears in the middle of the night. She's all alone by herself, not even a dog, not a housekeeper, nothing around, except her son-in-law. Not a bad looking dude, Italian guy, right? Who happened to drive her off, and that's that. Trying to put the blame, and she was picked up. She had dinner at her daughter's house, 4 miles away. And if you ever lived on a spooky mountaintop, which is great for looking at the sky, done it myself. Now those nights, you're alone in the sky. Now I was alone in this big house, big farmhouse, 2 big barns, actually 3 barns, and one was open on the side, not facing the farmhouse, and it also was surrounded by cornfields. Can you imagine on a full moon night what that looked like? It looked like just like The Walking Dead. Many times I would sleep, I would be awake. In fact, I would be awake at night watching that road because not many people used it. And it was a fine looking road. It wasn't a dirt road. But I was alone on this property by myself. Spooky. It's spooky. Now you gotta have a certain, okay, so she was on medication. Maybe that relaxed her, but it's certainly spooky. I wouldn't even sleep up in the bedroom on the second floor. It was a 2-story place, farmhouse, because I was busy there with my mace, with my weapons, my baseball bat, my this, my that. So that's the kind of atmosphere. It's spooky to be by yourself. I wasn't by myself all the time, but like some nights, I was by myself. Spooky. Now, the very fact that you would leave your mother, no matter how an 85-year-old, 84-year-old woman by herself in that kind of like spookiness. And when you're in that kind of place, especially where she lived, they had a rule that you can't flash lights more than just the lights had to go down to the ground because it destroyed the stars, the vision of the stars. I've been there, done that. Now I used to keep like, what do you call those? Those TV flashlights, the dog barking. I had all those things going on. I had the television, in each window on the second floor. That somebody was always up watching TV late at night. I had the dog barking if somebody came too close. Activity. I had the radio on. I mean, in different rooms. Of course, you got a big house. You got to make there's more than one person. More than one person. So now, let's say she had something going on like that. Who would know about that but family members, right? Family members. And who knew that she was by herself? Family members. Family members. And getting back to the family dynamics, what is it like when you are not the chosen one, the family favorite, the most successful of your family? It takes a lot. Like sometimes it's when you pull back from your family and you recognize, okay, so I'm not the family favorite. All right. So your mother or your father, they like one of you most because you represent the success and the this and the that, and they can, whatever the reason, there's a little bit of resentment in there, and it takes a lot. Usually, it takes some distance to get over that. So we're just talking about the three offspring of the mother. Okay, and also too, Savannah was the good-looking one. She was the most attractive, the most outgoing. Now, all these things, when you're not the most attractive of your family, and your mother is, and you're not the most successful, come on. Okay, it's human nature. It's human nature. But so we don't know the dynamics exactly, but just judging. Now, even the fact that there's been Savannah was on social media with her family members, and the sister was even grinning. Weird. And it's also weird that Savannah used on her most recent, not today, but the other day, video, she used a clip from Silence of the Lamb movie, a 32-year-old movie. I think it said something, I'm going to paraphrase, but something like her mother. Nancy is so full of kindness and knowledge. Talk to her. You'll see. Now, in the Silence of the Lamb, the name was different. Catherine, which is my mother's name, is so full of kindness and knowledge. No, that's what, no. Catherine is so very gentle and kind, which is very similar to kindness and knowledge. Then this is the exact words. Talk to her and you'll see. Now, we do know about that movie was about cannibalism, right? And it was a creepy movie. And it was also CIA. MKULTRA was CIA consultation. CIA. Now we do know that Savannah for her to repeat that. She's been involved, she's been she's been counseled, she's been prepped by the CIA. Now, this is the thing. We have to know too, like, the United States is in a financial crisis, right? It's in a financial crisis. And again, look at the scope, the money, traceability, tracing something that has happened. And you see what this is, a high profile case of, like, they haven't paid a cent for their money's return. And even Savannah said, return my mother, please. I want to come and we'll celebrate. The mother is 84 years old. She has she has coordination difficulties. There's blood on her patio. Why did the first words come out of your head saying, come and celebrate? Celebrate. It's just a weird type of phraseology. It's weird etymology. It is weird words. Between the weird wording of this, copying a script words, you'll see. Now that was, okay, so you're very nervous. Your mother's been taken. But speak from the heart. As a person who speaks without a script, we know that Savannah knows how to speak from the heart. She spoke for the Epstein women. She hasn't lost that. She knew what she was doing when she was putting herself on the line coming out with that. She knew. But the fact that her sister was there smiling, like she knew something. Now let's just see now. Is this a family? The family. Let's go into this dynamics of the family, because that's kind of, as we talk about this. Now, the dynamics of the family. Now I'm just going to pick some random, I'm going to just try to set the tone. To show you how weird, we have the MKULTRA, we have the Epstein victims, we have the Clintons cleaner, media cleaner. We have stuff. We have a weird type of connection. And then we also have the president and everybody else taking all her case, the mother's case, which surprisingly there's no evidence. And then we have the sister and her husband. Why are they looking at the sister? Did her jealousy? I don't know. I don't know these people. Why was she smiling? Now, why was it necessary to have the whole family show unity? They want to just get the money and get the mother back. That's the first. It's been 8 days. All the deadlines have been passed. Before we asked anything more, let's just see the family structure, the family dynamics. Is this something they don't want to talk about because is it somehow negligence on the family? Now, you and I will believe our mother. Each family is different. Now, first of all, we have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands. I get a bad vibe from the sister. I do, God. Yes, I agree with you. I do get a bad vibe from the sister. Why are you frigging smiling? No, I'm not. That's not a funny vibe. That's like, what's the, WTF? And it's also YOYO. Huh? Why are you smiling? What's there to laugh about? Your mother is missing. She is old. She has health problems. Why are you smirking? Okay, you're nervous. Okay, does she have, what's that? Do they have on those jerky movements you do when you get nervous. You like your eyeballs roll and you pop your lump and you do things. Now that's not a case of that. And even if it was a case of she has these involuntarily mental illness problems, catching mental illness problems, why would Savannah put her sister on frame like that? Right? Why? Why? Okay. The next one we get here is the Eight of Wands. Okay. The pressure. The Eight of Wands, the pressure, the atmosphere is kinetic. You don't know which way is left, which way is right, but you do know your mother's missing. And you do know that since you make $160K a week, $8 million, 52 weeks of the year, 52 into $8 million comes out roughly to $170,000, 160,000 a week. Now, the first thing you do is get that money. Yeah, and you've been doing it since, for 20 years. Maybe not $8 million a year, but you have money. You have money. And your husband works. And your sister and your brother, they all work together. And you have assets. Money isn't the question. So why should you even offer, what was it, like $2,500 for tips, information? Then the FBI offers a measly $50K for information. The FBI is asking $50K for information when you have millions of dollars. What's more important? Can you go to nirvana with that cash that you're sitting on? Right? What's more important than your family members? Now, they've been very sparse with the information. Why put it on the news when you're not giving any clues? And you're just going around like every house in the mountains, in the country, in the suburbs has a septic tank. Many of us have seen, our septic tanks being drained. I remember seeing my father out there like fishing through it, and I go, hee. I mean, it's a stinky job. And the fact that maybe the person who took the mother took a poop, is that the only thing I can think? Or what did they? I mean, why would you throw it into the loo, into the toilet? And what was there to throw into the toilet? Some injection, something. And if they gas the woman, the mother, Nancy, why would she bleed? Why would she bleed? I mean, you take a needle, you inject her, she's out cold, you just pick her up and I mean, how heavy can she be? 150 pounds. She was small. She was a bit chubby, but okay. It's like, why is it so sloppy? Why is it bungling and so sloppy and so cheap? What are they hiding? This Eight of Wands. Nervous? If you're nervous, you do not go on social media and broadcast like that. You don't do that. And you don't smirk what the sister did. Look at all these wands, all these fires. We have the Knight. Can you see that? The Knight of Wands. Look at all these wands, right? Ace of Wands. The Eight of Wands. That means even when you see the Eight of Wands in this particular deck, you see a lot of activity. There's something else going on. There's a reason for all this attention. Now, could be like, we do know, everybody knows that the Trump administration has sent his fleet over to Iran and telling them, you better damn well do as I say, or I'm going to tear you up. I'm going to bomb your ass up. We all know that. Now, is this cover? Of course, it could be other covers, but is this serving some kind of purpose? Some kind of banking fiasco? Some sort of something? Because we're dealing with money and we're dealing with the loss of life. And we all know that collateral damage is an unfortunate term. Unfortunate term in its courts. I don't even like to use it. But we do know that governments use that phrase. collateral damage. It's an abomination in itself. Okay, so we have a lot of wands. We have surveillance. We have no clues. But we're being told this, that even if you have so much money that your status, her status, Guthrie's status, can't even get a proper investigation. What hope is there for you and I, who do not have millions? We're not going to have the president say any comment about anything about what happens to us. So, I mean, it's peculiar. This is very peculiar. And then what do we have here? 10 of Cups. 10 of Cups. That's a weird thing to get. A weird card to pull. 10 of Cups. Maybe because it's an effect. This whole circumstance is an effective cover for what? For the banking industry, our failing, our debt, our trillions and trillions of dollars in debt, our need to monitor each other some more. This is weird, isn't it? This is weird. This 10 of Cups is a weird 10 of Cups, because this weird case of the missing mom is providing cover and also an alibi for something else, for the bankers, for the military invasion, the military presence, something. But this is not a good 10 of Cups. It's doing its job. And we also, that Savannah was supposed to go to Italy, right? For a job, for an assignment. We also know her brother-in-law is from Italy. And we also really know one thing. Savannah is the looker of the family, right? We know that. And her sister Annie is not as good looking as her hubby. Not that I crave him or anything like that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying visually. Now, when a woman who's not, and she doesn't like up her ante. Okay, so her mother was, case with her mother. It's distressing. But we can see that just basically, even with or without makeup, we can see that her husband is Italian and he's good looking. He looks better than his sister. And that Savannah is the most beautiful one of the family. She is. And she has the most gifted, obviously. So, I mean, these dynamics do not go away. And there's no clue. And her sister's husband dropped the mother off at 10 o'clock at night, a little before 10 o'clock at night. And that was the last. He was the last person to see her. Then we have the 4 of Cups. It's almost as though it's in the family, right? The 4 of Cups. It's something that is connected with the family. Now, a lot of times families stay together for money. Who's going to get the inheritance? Who's going to get the extras? Now, it takes a rare person to say, I don't care about my family's money. I don't like this and I don't like that. And I don't care to be around and like hover like some kind of condor, some kind of vulture, some kind of raptor, right? Some kind of bird of prey. And sometimes too, when you have money, and I'm going to give your sister more than this. She's going to be the executor of my will. No, talking about wills. A lot of times siblings have a difficulty on that. And since her brother's the only man, it's safe to assume that Savannah and the brother, male and female, the man, the only man of the family, and Savannah, the most successful of the family, would be the executors of her will. Right? True. See? This Four of Cups, there's some kind of family dynamics that can't be overlooked. Can't be overlooked. It's a little too convenient. You live remotely in a place by yourself. You leave your mother-in-law. She's 84 years old. She's by herself in this building. Of course, it's a safe. Okay, the safe neighbor. Is there any place safe in the United States anymore? No. And anyone who is anything knows that. It doesn't take a brain, an advanced brain, to put that together. Then you're dealing with a certain callousness, right? A certain callousness of like, this is the way our family is. And we see that the tightness of the family. We see, now, whenever you're dealing with certain areas that people get uptight on being fat, and we live in a satanic culture, that's true. Now, anybody who's turned on how many music videos, how many this, how many that, shows deal with, I'm not going to say occult, because occult means hidden knowledge. I'm talking about demon energy, all right? Demon energy. And you could say, oh, you're doing tarot cards, you're invoking this. No. Because we are supposed to be psychic. With our bodies as delicate as they are, we need to put clothes on our bodies. We're not strong physically. Some of us are, but we're not as the strongest earth animals on this planet, right? We're supposed to use our other senses and develop it. We're not supposed to be brainless, mindless, stupids, void of using our psychic energy, because that's what we're gifted with. We're gifted with the power to be able to comprehend and to use and to do things and to sense something. Because as much as society rads on something like, oh, that's so stupid, or that's so this, or that's so that, each country has a psychic force, a psychic division. They do. And it's fed. Right? Just like Space Force. They never talk about Space Force, but it is funded and it is in full quiet mode to the masses. And again, our family situations are supposed to be dictated by, you go to church, you listen to your mother, your father, your husband, your wife, and you keep quiet. Now, in those dynamics, those guidelines, those walls, a lot of crap goes down. A lot of stuff goes down. A lot of human nature, envy, jealousies, favoritism, unfavoritism, lust, greed. And we see strangeness. We see scripts, 32-year-old scripts. We see just from the actions alone, leaving a woman 84 years old to be alone in the hills with the stars, with the planets. How romantic. You couldn't afford a live-in, a housekeeper? That sounds weird. It sounds weird to me. Now let's see. We've already established it seems to be an internal matter, right? We cannot divorce ourselves, and we have a bungling sheriff, and we have bitcoins. Bitcoins. Okay, let's see now. If, and I'm using a big if, first of all, so we ask the question, is this a family affair? It seems to be something. And then people that have tons knowledge of Epstein, Clintons, with all the gossip about them. Gossip, we all hear about, we're a gossip society. We do a lot of gossiping. No, this is just who we are. And Americans gossip all the time. And then we forget the gossip. We forget because we're always new gossip. There's this, there's that, there's this, there's that. Now, It seems as though that we have a lot of internal issues. Even the fact that the sister was smiling. Don't like that. I know you don't like it either. Now, if you're going to be, why did you have to? Are they as together as they appear on the video? Bring my mother back. Now, I'm not saying that Savannah doesn't know where her mother knows where her mother. I'm not saying anything like that because I do not know these people. I'm just wanting to know. 8 days, the mother has not been found. 8 days, right? 8 days. 84 years old. I'm sure she has a special diet, medication, right? Medication. And the bitcoins. Why so cheap? Why so cheap? Why so cheap? And why so alone? Alone. Alone. I can assure you, I would not let my mother spend, my 84-year-old mother, be alone by herself with just coyotes, deer, bears, whatever. Who would? Very few. But of course, people that have priorities. Okay, let's say. Now, we already have suspicious family relationships, right? We know about these. If you're lucky to have not to be actively one-to-one, you know of somebody else who has different type of structure. There's also families that if you didn't do what I wanted you to do, you get like ostracized. You get like cut off too. Funds. Your funds are cut off. Living in families like that. Some of the richest people alive cut off their siblings, their daughters, their sons, because they didn't step and fetch it when they were supposed to step and fetch it. We know that. Now, is Nancy okay? All right. Is Nancy okay? Is she okay? Is she okay? Right? Is she okay? I don't want to really do this. Find out, is she okay? Not that I'm asking you to, think about this. Is she okay? Because that's the primary reason. Because it is a strange case. Is she going to get involved unknowingly with some force? Are they acting out something and using this poor woman as a cover for something? Is she okay? Is Nancy okay? All right? I'm going to do one more. Is she okay? Let's see now. Is she okay? I'll take this one. All right. Now, is she okay? Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands. She's fighting. She's hanging in there. She's fighting. She's in a very precarious situation. Yes, this is not good. So much attention. Maybe the kidnappers did not feel or think that she would get this amount of attention. They don't know where to go. They don't know how to move left, right, left. I mean, if you commit crimes like this, you're not very bright, right? You didn't think things out clearly. So, tension, fighting, hostility. Okay, she's been kidnapped. Then we have the Page of Pentacles, the money aspect. Thank you for the likes, by the way. Thank you for sending me some more energy. Please send me energy. Let's just, because this is American family. This is like family. This is family. This is a crime. Money. Money. Okay. I want that money. Where's that money? Magically. This could be, when we have the magician on this, we can put the traceability of using Bitcoin, of making this subject Bitcoin. 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 Money here, money there, money where. The magic of not being able to be traced. The scope. Traceability. Bitcoin. Bitcoin. And how do we Bitcoin the what junior what investigator DA or anyone in the legal system PI would like can solve this case, but everybody has their outlook. Their face has been plastered all over the place. The conditions. It's the most public thing in the United States right now. Again, we have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups. We have the Nine of Cups. We have the Ten of Cups, and then we have the Nine of Cups. She's still there, Nancy. I feel like she's still hanging in there. I feel that like something. Waiting to get their hands on the money, waiting to something has to come out of this. Waiting to see a result, waiting to see just how far they can go or how long they can hold out. Justice. The team, meaning they have a lead. I would say that the cops, the FBI, CIA, whoever's involved, they know more than they're saying. They have a lead. They have a lead. We have justice. We have the weight. Right? And we have magician. Pentacles. The atmosphere. They have the investigators know something. They're not telling the masses, the public. They know something. They know, and they're just, I wouldn't say milking the situation. I wouldn't say that per se, because that's a cruel, crass way of saying something. But I feel that it will be wrapped up soon. And is she still all right? Yeah, it's been through a lot. But they're ready. They're ready to like come to point the finger. They're ready to point the finger. I think that they've purposely been putting clues. With not paying the ransom, not sister kind of like smiling and smirking. the fact of the rehashing of the Epstein victims, Epstein cases that go on forever. The whole thing, Epstein, because it's also unfair and it's also corrupt. And the fact that you have very rich people, no video, no this, no that. You have somebody we have a garage door that opens. 6 codes fit all the garage doors in the United States. They're not unique. You can just punch in the code and you can get it. I mean, there's devices that tell you how to, I mean, it's automatic. You know that she's 84 years old. She's not picking up that garage door back and forth. And she didn't even she took the son-in-law rather. The son-in-law brought her home. Right? Suspicious. At the hour of 9:45. Now, why didn't the mother sleep over and come back in the daytime? It's very coincidence. It's very coordinated. It's very coordinated. Now, one thing about people that live on a house here and then half a mile away there's another house, and there's one on the mountain, there's one over here, sparsely occupied homesteads. I mean, homestead over here, way over there. I mean, you basically know certain things about your neighbors because they have the lights on, they have the windows, the curtains open. You know how they are. And you can see from miles, or you can see a mile away on a clear night. You know what they do. It's very peculiar. Very peculiar. This is someone that's been following, and of course anybody who looks on Google Maps can find out this and this and that. And one thing about country people, they're like, if you have a certain type of look, they'll just tell you this and that. They speak very freely and they're happy to see people. So it's easy to get information from country people if you have the right kind of mannerism and stuff like that. Which is even all the more reason for you to take care of your parent who is living by herself. I don't see. I mean, you have people that live in 7 or 8 room apartments in Manhattan, and one of them is for the help. Come on, the help, the housekeeper, the maid, the 24 live-in maid, and she couldn't do that. It's peculiar. It's very peculiar. It's just, and the fact that the blood. Now, how can you have, so you can bruise easily when you're grabbed, but to have that much blood on the floor, patio, and that not being the first thing you speak about. Anyway, they know, they're ready to, the investigators are ready to point the finger. People are like, this is outrageous. Enough with the show. Enough. Is Nancy okay? I see this. I see this 7 of Swords, 7 of Wands. It's a bad environment. I don't know. She's not in good shape, if she is alive. But this was methodically planned. Almost like using 32-year-old script from the Signs of the Lamb. This was planned. It's harsh, too. It's harsh. Yes, that's one thing about the garage doors. When you're out it's one thing about when you're out there, when you have a garage connected to the main house, most people do, right? And that automatic door comes up and down when you just press a button, dun, 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 or you press a code, 1, 2, 3, okay? Then that comes into your like loosely locked, or not like bolt. It's not deadbolt lock that you have on your laundry room, or what do you call it? Your mud room, right? It usually leads the garage to the mud room and then to the kitchen, stuff like that. And yeah, you should get like a manual. You can get out there and manually pull it up and down. It's good exercise too. Keep it oiled. But just make it easy that way, right? And even unlock doors, things like that. So let's hope for the best, but it doesn't seem good. Poor woman, his family. It could also be payback, payback for bringing up the Epstein. There's a lot of elements that make this weird case. Payback. So, but it definitely seems some family member, something, some kind of, something with the family that is strange, that is isolating. It is isolating. I would say the mother is feisty, but she's been through an ordeal. Can't say. So I think she's in a bad shape. Bad shape. Bad shape. I'm going to leave this right now. I don't know what to say. What do you think? But there's a lot of, seems like the investigators are ready to point the finger. They know something. And maybe they're too late. Maybe they're too late. It should have never happened. But I do think, since we have the Four of Cups on one deck, and then we have Justice, Four of Cups, familiarity in the family, and we have Justice. Sometimes the safest place that should be is often the most dangerous place you find yourself in. Sometimes.